There seemed to be, from my memory, I don't know, it's almost like there was like a perfect gap from me to the door, like there was no crowd or anything. So I ran in as quick as I could. My intention was to punch the window through, and I'll tell you why. Although this was a split second, there was other people around the car, and they were desperate and rightfully so, trying to get in, mainly men. And so I ran up to that window with the full intention of punching it for whatever use that to do, because I assumed that all the doors were locked. That's why nobody could get in, and were punching it. And just at the final moment, I just tried the door, and it opened. I crawled inside. Bear in mind all the screaming and shouting and panic. And as soon as I got into the back seat, he accelerated off and the door slammed immediately behind me, as far as I remember anyway. But I do remember the contrast, audible contrast between that and then a very almost silence compared to inside the car, especially like that. It was really, really strange. But he'd already accelerated off by this point.
And then tell me what you did.
Yeah, so I remember seeing that. And eventually, this could be like 2 seconds, I don't know. I remember seeing the automatic gear stick. So from the back seat, I've reached through and I've pushed it as far as I could, as hard as I could, into P, which has brought the car to a stop. A lot has happened in between that, and probably in different orders, but I cannot fully recall at the moment. Squeezed up against his seat, and I can't really get my right hand out. So in my head, everybody around is trying to get him out, but they can't get him out because his seatbelt, and I managed to get his seatbelt. So I thought that will help me ease the pressure, because he was still trying to go, as far as I'm concerned. That's why I kept my hand there as strong as I could. He had no chance, he wasn't going to move my arm, no way. He tried to chop it off or whatever. I remember that much, and I managed to bring my right hand forward and squoze onto his button on his seatbelt and press that. As soon as I pressed that, he was gone. The crowd were trying to get him out, from what I remember. The windows were getting smashed, everybody was trying to get in, rightfully so. I pressed his seatbelt and off he disappeared.
Sunk in either what you actually did and how brave you were?
No, because I don't consider it, and I'm not being funny when I say that, because I wasn't. If you ask, like, if you could somehow find the truth off most of the men I seen on that street, they were all trying to do the same thing. Anything. Not like hero or brave. If they could have, they would have. I imagine there's lots of people who'd love to have been in my position. And do the same. It's standard. I think it's standard that you, to me, that you do what you can. I don't think it's anything special. I know it sounds mad. Hasn't sunk in. Maybe it never will, but I'll do it again.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James Allison from Crown Prosecution Service. I'm the lead prosecutor on the case of Mr. Doyle. As you'll be aware, on the 26th of May 2025, Paul Doyle drove a car that weighed almost 2 tonnes into crowds of people celebrating Liverpool Football Club having won the Premier League. In 7 minutes of dangerous driving, Paul Doyle, a middle-aged family man, used that vehicle as a weapon, hitting more than 100 people, including children, babies and the elderly. When it eventually ended, he had trapped some of those people under his car. He not only injured many people, he also generated horror and chaos on what was meant to be a day of celebration and joy for those attending the parade. The reason why he did it? The truth is as simple as it is awful. Paul Doyle lost his temper and in a rage drove into people, intending to cause them serious harm. The dash cam footage of his journey into Liverpool city centre is truly shocking. Before he got into the city, he was driving aggressively. Before he got to Dale Street, his driving was of a poor standard. He was undertaking other cars, going through red lights, nearly hit some pedestrians at a crossing. He did not even stop when he knew there were people under his car. He continued his revving his engine to try and continue forward. You'll be aware of how many people he hit. Over 100 people were hit, over 100 people were struck by the car, and many of those were injured and caused serious harm. When his car finally did come to a stop because of the actions of those people under the car, but also the actions of one man, Daniel Barr, a man who can truly be described as a hero. We've all heard the judge commend Daniel Barr in his sentencing remarks. Mr. Barr got into the back of Paul Doyle's car. He did not know what he was facing when he got in, but he did know he had to stop that car. To do so, he put the controls of the automatic car into park and held it there, leant forward, pushing forward, holding that stick in place. It's because of his actions and a combination of those people trapped under the car that the car eventually came to a stop. There's no doubt that he prevented many more injuries, possibly even fatalities. I've got no doubt that Mr. Barr would continue to drive. The Crown Prosecution Service would like to thank Daniel Barr, like the judge did, for what he did on that day. When he got into Daniel Barr's car, he had no thought for his own safety. He just knew he had to do something to stop that car. The Crown Prosecution Service would also like to thank all the emergency services who responded that day, all those present who assisted those who were injured, the members of the public who assisted the police by providing invaluable pieces of evidence which helped build the case against Mr. Doyle. I'd also like to thank John and his investigation team, and basically Merseyside Police generally, for all the hard work they put in and providing me and the prosecution team with the evidence which meant that the case resolved as it did. We had to watch an awful lot of CCTV, mobile phone footage, City Watch footage to build a strong case against the defendant, Mr. Doyle. In the end, Mr. Doyle had no choice but to plead guilty to all 31 charges that he faced. My thoughts and the thoughts of the CPS are with the victims and the witnesses today. They've been through a difficult 2 days, reflecting on a day in Liverpool on the 26th of May, which should have been a day of joy and celebration, but turned to horror in the space of 7 minutes. So I'll hand over to John.
Thanks, James.